this is going to be the video on how you can maximize your reproductive health. Now, this is super important whether you're trying to achieve pregnancy, whether you're trying to avoid pregnancy, whether you're trying to just be a healthy woman, whether you're a teenager, whether you're a woman who's in her 30s, whatever the case may be. These are tips for you. Okay, so there's going to be 15 tips. Take note, write them down, jot them down, rewind, write them down, keep going. Okay, 15 tips. Tip number 1, go look at extra resources. So, gather information. I knew a little bit when I started out. Now, I have had to pick and narrow down, and what you're getting here in this video series is very, very basic. It is enough to allow you to chart and to use it effectively, but it's this big thing. Okay, there's so much information out there. It's so rich, it's so amazing, and it's so helpful. So the 2 extra resources that I would recommend are 2 books. I'm going to put the Amazon links below. The first one is Taking Charge of Your Fertility by Toni Weschler. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right, but this book's amazing. It's also about yay big. So do not be overwhelmed. Most of the information in it is the information that we've gone over in these series. I use it right now. If I have a client who's got something abnormal going on with the cycle, I can look it up in this book and be like, okay, this is what this is saying. This is what this is looking like. Hey, this is something you need to have checked out by a healthcare provider. It's really a reference guide for me. For you, it's going to be wealth of information. I love her writing style. It's very humorous. It's very light. It makes this subject very normal. So even though it's a big book, I completely devoured it. I just loved reading it. So go ahead, get that, have it as a reference, have it as a resource, and you won't be sorry you did. The second book is The Fifth Vital Sign, and that's by Lisa Hendrickson Jack. Dives into how charting your fertility and keeping track of what your reproductive health is saying is so vital to your overall well-being and health as a woman. Okay, that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is avoid trans fat. I want to go ahead and expand it to say avoid processed food as much as possible. I know it's so hard in the culture that we're in here in America to avoid processed food. It's literally everywhere. Do your best, limit it, cut it out, really meal prep through the week, take natural raw snacks, nuts, fruits, vegetables. Incorporate these foods into your diet. We're going to talk a little bit more about which ones are really good to include, but limiting especially sugar, processed foods, and trans fats is going to make a huge difference in your reproductive health and in your overall health in general. Okay, tip number 3, incorporate healthy fats into your diets. Healthy fats include avocados, olive oil, nuts. Go, Pinterest it. There's a wealth of ideas out there. Make these your snacks, incorporate them into your meals. They're gonna help you feel fuller longer, and they're so good for you, for your reproductive health. Okay, tip number 4, eat more iron. Simple as that. Okay, tip number 5, eat more protein. Okay, have protein at every meal, every snack, okay? Protein is a basic building block. Eat more protein. Okay, tip number 6, eat slowly digested carbs. And this kind of pulls back from tip number 2, avoid processed foods. Those are very quickly digested carbs. That's why you keep eating them and eating them and eating them like your body just wants more to be full and satisfied. Eat slowly digested carbs, vegetables, fruits, eat those. Okay. Tip number 7, stay hydrated. The goal is to drink half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're gonna drink 75 ounces of water daily. Okay, next, tip number 8 is take a multivitamin with folate. Now this is especially important if you're planning to use this method to achieve pregnancy. Folate, the synthetic version, is folic acid, so be sure you check a prenatal vitamin. Most of them have folic acid. That's fake. It's fake. Don't use it. Don't take that. Okay? Take folate. That's the real thing. It's easily digested. It's easily absorbed. It's your body can use it. A lot of people's bodies can't even use folic acid. Some people's bodies actually reject it and it becomes very harmful to you. Take a vitamin with folate. So folate is going to be one of those things that's going to be a building block for your baby. It's going to be something your baby uses and utilizes, especially at the beginning. So it's so important to be taking folate before you get pregnant, because it's one of the key components during early stages of pregnancy. And if you start a multivitamin halfway through your pregnancy, it's too late. Okay, take it before you get pregnant. It's just also in general a very key component to a vitamin, even if you're not trying to achieve pregnancy. All right, tip number 9, limit body fat. Like, get into a healthy weight, okay? Exercise so that you are in a healthy weight range. Too much body fat can equal too much estrogen. Estrogen, too much. So excess estrogen can cause cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer. Your body cannot have too much estrogen. It can't handle it. So one way that we can limit estrogen and bring our estrogen levels down is to get within a healthy weight range. Okay, on the other side, too little body fat, so over exercising, over dieting can actually make your body stop ovulating. It can take away your cycle altogether. So you have too low of a BMI and you're going to have problems in the other direction. You're not going to ovulate. You're going to lose your cycle. Okay, tip number 11, which kind of pulls 9 and 10 together, is exercise healthfully. Don't over exercise. Don't just kind of do it on the weekends. Exercise consistently, exercise moderately in a way that is healthful to your body. Don't do it too much, but just do it because it's going to be good for your reproductive health. It's good for your overall well-being as well. Okay, tip number 12, get enough sleep. Lack of sleep puts undue stress on your body. Get enough sleep. Okay, number 13, do not stress. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but honestly, de-stress. Take that time to de-stress every single day. You need to limit sources of stress. Stress puts so much stress on your reproductive health, on all of your health, and it is so key to your health to eliminate it and to limit it. Okay, tip number 14, eliminate chemicals and toxins and sources of external estrogen. So, for example, with chemicals and toxins, something that I've had to eliminate is cleaners in my house, household cleaners. So the cleaners you go and buy for $1 at the dollar store are loaded with hormone stressors. That means you spray it in the air and your body absorbs it and it gets into your hormones. It messes everything up. It messes up your reproductive system. There are natural options. I'd be happy to share those with you. Just reach out. I'll send you a list of the ones I've kind of replaced and what I'm using now, and look for plant-based options. Okay, and extra sources of estrogen. What does that mean? You are getting estrogen from external sources through plastics. So every time you're going and you're drinking out of a water bottle, you're heating up a plastic tub in the microwave, it's putting estrogen into your food and then you're consuming it. Another source of estrogen is tap water. So I highly recommend buying a filter and filtering your tap water. Okay, tip number 15, and this is the last tip, but it's also, I think, the biggest tip because it kind of encompasses all of them, and that is to balance your insulin. So another way of saying it is balance your hormones. And so why did I say insulin first? Because insulin is your master hormone. It controls and regulates all of the other hormones in your body. So if your insulin is off, everything else is going to have a hard time regulating. Now, everyone seems to think when I say balance your insulin, they're like, oh, but my blood sugar is fine. I don't have diabetes, so my insulin must be fine. A blood sugar measurement is not an insulin measurement. Insulin is produced in your gut. So that's kind of the big hype with gut health, is because insulin, which is produced down in your gut system, which is, your pancreas, your stomach, and your intestines, it's produced in your pancreas. And so if your gut health is off, then your insulin's off, and then everything else is off. So my biggest tip is to take probiotic, prebiotic, and there are specific insulin regulating, just balancing supplements that you can take. I take them on a daily basis, and I've seen a huge change in my reproductive health and just my overall health, my gut health, everything. I'm going to put a link to those below. These are the ones I use, the ones I recommend, and it's going to start from the root up, and you're going to see it balance that, and then you're going to see it expand and balance everything else. Okay, so these are the 15 tips. This is the end of the series. If you have questions, go back, rewatch, reach out to me, okay? Instagram, email, however you want to reach out. Go ahead, reach out, ask these questions. I'm here to walk alongside you. Like I said, look up these extra resources. You've got this. You can do it.